So in this video, I will be rewriting cold emails that I have received. So for context, I've been sending cold emails for almost 4 years. So I've written hundreds of copies for many different industries. And in this video, I'm going to apply my learnings to the cold emails that I myself receive on a daily basis. And so if you're anybody that's doing outreach, looking to do outreach, if you watch this whole video, I guarantee you're going to learn something new. And I think it's going to be super valuable for you. So make sure to watch till the end. Now, the first email that I got that I'm going to fix is the following email. So, hello, Nicholas. Hope you're having a great day. We create modern websites designed to perform well across devices, improve visibility, and support business growth. Would you be open to reviewing a few design ideas along with timelines and cost estimates? Right. So, first of all, there's a lot of things wrong with this email. The first thing is that this offer here is very saturated and commoditized. So you cannot afford to keep your email this vague and this short. Nobody's going to respond to this. Maybe one in 10,000 people. So the benefits that I mentioned are way too vague, right? The website will perform well across devices. Well, I would hope so. I'm paying you to create a website. So yeah, I would hope it works across devices. Very obvious benefits. Improve visibility. Okay, very obvious and also vague. How does that tie into revenue and something I care about? And then support business growth. Again, this is one of those sort of like platitudes or this kind of slop, whatever you want to call it, that's just very basic and it doesn't really convey anything meaningful. And then we have the call to action. Would you be open to reviewing a few design ideas along with timelines and cost estimates? I don't hate this call to action, but I just think it's very obvious that they want a call with me. And I'm not ready to commit to a call based on this email. Even if I was in the market for a website, I would just see this email and I would be like, okay, well, yeah, I might want a new website. And then I would just go on Google. Like there is no reason, there's nothing in this email that compels me to respond to them because it is so vague. It is so vague. I might as well just go to Google and search for somebody. So, not a good email. I'm also not a fan of hope you're having a great day. I think it just fills out the email with unnecessary stuff. So I would remove that as well. So here is the rewritten version that I have created. So, hi, Nicholas. I noticed a few things about your website, www.scalesprint.io, that could potentially be improved. Typically, when we fix these things, clients see a 10 to 12% increase in calls being booked. This tends to happen because 90% of all B2B buyers look at your website before they buy. I won't ask for your time just yet. If you'd like, I can send over a bullet point list with the things I noticed. If you think I'm onto something, we can talk. Can I send the bullet points? So, what am I doing in this email here? Well, first of all, I'm piquing their interest with the first line. I'm saying I noticed a few things about your website. And then what I do is I'd use Clay or just an Excel function to basically make sure that this doesn't hyperlink. We don't want to have links in the email. So this is the first email. This would definitely, if I saw this in the preview, I would definitely say, what is this about? And open the email. Then we go into the next line. And what I'm doing is I am directly tying this issue that I've established in the first line, right? So in this case, it's kind of implied that, these are website experts that are reaching out to me and they have noticed issues. So they probably know more than me about websites. So I'm like, okay, well, tell me what you got. And then I'm saying in the next line, typically when we fix these things, clients see an increase in calls being booked. This is something I care about as a business owner. I obviously care about 10 to 12% more calls. If I'm getting 100 calls a month, that is 10 to 12 additional calls a month. So I'm interested, right? I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay. But also when I see a benefit like this, I'm like, sure, but why? Like, why would this benefit happen? Why would I fix my website and then suddenly people are booking more calls? Like, I'm not doing more outreach, I'm not doing more ads. And so that's why I have the next line here, which is this tends to happen because 90% of all B2B buyers look at your website before they buy. Okay, so we tie the benefit into some sort of rationale or proof here. Then I go into the call to action here, and I'm not going to ask for their time. I would never ask for anybody's time on the first email with this sort of commoditized offer. I would send over something that is so hard to say no to. So what I chose in this case is to basically send over a bullet point list of the things I noticed. And you might be saying, oh, well, then I have to do some work. I have to actually look at their website and give them feedback. Yes, you have to do that because your offer does not allow you to just lean back and just book a bunch of calls based on emails. You need to actually put in work on the back end here in order for you to actually book people in, right? So you have to create this bullet point here, this bullet point list. But I promise you're going to get 5x more positive responses with this sort of email. You're going to get a 5x easily, maybe even 10x the positive responses. And it's just going to give you a lot more revenue if you were to structure your email like this. Now, the reason why I like this email is because I know that if somebody reached out to me and told me this, I would just say yes. Why not? Why not just see it, right? And then once I'm in the funnel, once I've responded with interest, then they can just follow up with me continuously over months and months and months. And eventually they're going to hit that one point where I'm ready to move forward. And I'm actually in the market for a website, right? And so what you're going to use this whole follow-up flow for, once you've gotten a positive response and you've sent over the bullet points, is you're going to just tackle objections one by one and send me a bunch of relevant case studies every single week until I eventually do book a call. This is how you want to think about outreach in 2026. This will not work. You have to do something like this. Now, the next email that I want to talk about is this one. So I got an email, and I get a lot of these. It's basically people offering me some sort of email infrastructure, like email inboxes. So the email says, Nicholas, the primary concern with cold outreach is simple. Emails end up in the promotions folder or go unseen. Think about this. You use hours crafting your text and assembling your lead lists with the right signals, but the outcome doesn't change because nothing makes it to the inbox. With our postal boxes, that issue will not happen. We reach sending effectiveness up to 94%, which means that you see 2 to 3 times more positive replies. Would you like me to present our figures to you? PS, more than 4,500 companies, including Deal, Apollo, and TikTok, are at present using our platform. I somehow doubt that. So here is the rewritten version that I have created. So, or actually, first of all, I should sort of mention some of the issues here. So, first of all, this is clearly AI slop. I think this is not written by a human. I think it just does not flow naturally at all. It doesn't sound conversational at all. And also, when you look at an email like this, what you got to realize is that there are too many complex words in this. And you might say, well, where? Well, even words like primary concern, promotions folder, assembling your lead list, outcome doesn't change. What else do we have? Effectiveness. Like, I know these, you understand these words, but they're quite long. They have a lot of different syllables. And so it's going to be difficult to scan this email. And that's sort of the framework that you got to have when you read emails, is you got to be able to scan it. You got to be able to scan cold emails. And this is not really scannable. I have to sit there and like concentrate on reading it. And I'm not going to do that. So this is basically not a way you want to write a cold email. And so here is the written or the rewritten version that I've created. So Nicholas, most cold email agencies I talk to spend hours making campaigns just for emails to land in spam. Even with great campaigns, churn starts eating away your MRR. To get straight to the point, we solve this with an inbox solution that beats other providers in tests. On average, our clients have reported a 74% increase in reply rate when switching from their old vendor. I know you must get a lot of these proposals, so let me share direct proof. Can I send over 2 detailed case studies from other cold email agencies? So what have I done here? Well, first of all, I've made it a lot more readable and I'm not using all these big words. This is pretty simple to read and skim. And also what I'm doing is this whole bit here in the beginning is way too long. About, I get the pain point. You don't have to make 2 lines about it, right? So what I'm doing here is I'm making just the first introduction here and then just briefly tying it into why we actually care. Like, why do we care about emails not landing in spam? Well, we care because it's gonna result in churn. So that's what I'm starting out with. I'm establishing the pain point here, and then I get straight to the point. So we solve this with an inbox solution that beats other providers in tests. And then we go directly into because typically people like averages, right? If you talk about, this company here got this result or that company there got this result, well, we know it's cherry picked. So if you can mention averages, that's typically a good thing to do in a context like this. And so when I read this, I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe it, right? I'm not going to believe it. And people think that prospects will believe you when you say things. They don't. They don't. So what you want to go ahead and do is you want to basically share direct proof, and that becomes the call to action. So this is basically sending over 2 detailed case studies from other cold email agencies. And again, if I received this, I would say yes. Why not? Why not just see some case studies? I can check out if they're actually legit and check out the people that they've worked with. And if I see that this is legit, I'm going to book a call with them. Simple as that. So this is a way better email. I would never respond to something like this. Never, ever. And I think the PS line is false. It's just not true. And then what we have here in my copy is definitely something that I would respond to. The last email is it's so long. I don't even know if I want to read this entire email for you. But basically, we have the intro line here, just basically flattering me, complimenting my case studies, and then we go into the next one. This is a very long introduction. And then we have some AI generated ideas. So basically, these are 4 bullet points with things that they can help me with. And then we have some more information about them and then the call to action. So I like certain parts of this email. I do like certain parts of this email. I actually think that mentioning my case studies in the beginning is fine. I actually think that these, even though it's very long, I do actually like the 4 AI generated bullet points because some of this stuff actually sort of hits parts of my business that I would care about. So I don't necessarily think this is a bad email, but it needs to be way shorter, and we need to really tighten it up. So I'm going to show you what I've written here. So, hi Nicholas, just checked out your site. I must say, pretty impressive work with Austin Becker and search ads. It seems you have all processes dialed in, so this might not be relevant at all. But I wanted to share a few ideas. Have you thought about creating? And then I'm basically just pasting the bullet points he had because I thought those were fine. And then I go into the next line here for context. We've built out this stuff for similar agencies to automate 80% of these reporting slash campaign slash qualification workflows. Automating it gives you way more time to work on high leverage stuff. Would this be worth a chat? So why does this email work? Well, first of all, we keep it super brief. This sounds way more human, right? And just checked out your site. I must say, pretty impressive work. This sounds way more human, right? This might as well be somebody reaching out to me manually, right? There's a chance they might actually be reaching out to me manually if this has something like this. And you can make AI talk like this with the right prompt. It seems you have all your processes dialed in, so this might not be relevant at all. So what am I doing here? Well, I'm lowering my guard. I'm saying, look, you have these great case studies. It seems you might just have everything completely dialed in, right? So we actually kind of not being salespeople in this line. We sound like somebody that wants to help, right? So this might not be relevant because you seem like somebody that has your stuff together. So we're complimenting them, and that compliment is not like a BS compliment because we already mentioned the case studies up here. So obviously you don't want to open an email with a clearly false compliment, but when you do this, it seems like a genuine compliment. And then we go into the ideas here, which I can read and I can see if this is relevant. And then basically just a bit of like social proof here, like we've built out this stuff for other agencies. And then I mentioned the benefit. 80% of these workflows are automated. And then also what's really important, and this is what I'm a big believer in, is as I did in the first email I showed, I want to tie the benefit into something I care about as a founder or CEO. And so in this case, it would be if I can automate this stuff, it can give me more time to work on high leverage stuff, right? So this is something I do care about. And what I've done here is I've actually made a direct, like book a call to action here, because I think this email contains enough information for me to be able to decide if I want to talk to these guys, right? And so if this was a really short email, I would not do it. But because it's quite long, I would actually do basically a direct book a call to action. So these are the emails here and how I have rewritten them. If you're looking to work directly with me, I'll leave my offers in the description and in the pinned comment. I have a done for you offer. I also have a consulting offer where I work with in-house cold email teams, or I work with other cold outreach agencies that are looking to basically learn from me and basically just get to their desired level of monthly revenue. And so yeah, that is pretty much it for me today. So thanks for watching and have a good day.